Yo, hey everybody, and this is my second part of a multi-part mini-series on how to create a low-poly gun asset and put it into game engines such as Unity, Blender Game Engine, Unreal, and even some of the open-source Quake engines that people are using to make their games. Okay, so in the previous tutorial, it was a multi-part gun that you could put in, but you had some problems with that, but it's really nice if you know how to fix everything. Here's one way on how to get over the multi-part and just put it into one huge gun or one huge part. So one solid part. So basically we'll just have two parts, the actual ammo clip and then the gun itself. Now in some game engines, what they'll have is everything in one huge solid piece, and then they'll have either the asset parented attached to it, so it follows the gun everywhere, or it'll be a solid piece, and then the ammo piece will just disappear and then reappear. Sorry about that. So okay, let's just get started. 1 second, guys. Okay, guys, I just had to pop up my OSD hotkey. This tells you guys what keys I'm pushing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually start with let's start at this end and then end over here. So basically we're gonna have 1, 2, and then 3, because the cylinder is totally different. So add mesh and then cube. And where the cube went over here? Okay, let's just reset the spawn point for the meshes. We're going to go to object and snap to actually cursor to section, so you get this little dotted line. But we're going to set to wireframe so you guys can see everything a whole lot better. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to move this part right over here. Move this part right over here. Now, a whole lot of people use the extrude function to create a whole bunch of stuff. I personally don't use that because I do use it, but it creates so much pain afterwards. Basically, it creates a whole bunch of triangles, and your supposed low poly object has, ends up with, 50,000 triangles. A triangle has 3 parts, so, 50,000 times 3, and you get a whole bunch of vertices, which you actually never needed in the first place. So what I do, there we go, is I will actually see if I can just, extrude a whole bunch of stuff. Like basically what I did is I took a square or a cube and I placed it right here, and then I just extruded it. I stretched it out. Other people would, just subdivide and put a whole bunch of stuff. That's not good. That's not something you actually want to do constantly. So okay, we're going to extrude the region again instead of subdividing it or anything like that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pin it up against this piece right here. We're going to go down, zoom in, select this piece, and grab it and place it right there. And then that's what we're going to do for the rest of these. Oops. Place it there. Grab. Place it right there. Okay, now what we're going to do is I have to figure out, place these all the way over here. Okay, so basically what I'm gonna have to do is extrude those, and then grab them, and then individually place them. Since we have a bump right here, basically where the gun's supposed to either go from thinner to thicker, but we're going to actually deal with that in the normal map, so it has the illusion of doing it. Remember, we're looking for, an Android type, low polyness. Or you could even say PSP quality. And we're going to just grab this. Place it right there, and we're going to actually extrude this part. Extrude region, grab it, grab that, and then move it up here. Now, okay, here's the situation to where we do actually need to, actually there's several ways how to do this. The easiest way, I'm going to actually do it right now, is by subdividing. Actually, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to subdivide, which will create another point, but I will show you what that does in one moment. Okay, here we go. If you keep subdividing, you'll actually keep creating triangles. And those triangles will add to your, what do you call it, poly count. Okay, what we're going to do right here is we're going to subdivide again to create another point to do this gun piece right here. And then we're going to move this over here and then continue on with the gun. Grab it, place it right here, and then subdivide one more time. And grab it right there. And then take this, and then extrude, grab, and we're actually going to go back because it has a little angle on the finger trigger area, and then we're going to grab, extrude, rotate, extrude again, rotate, extrude, grab, and then rotate one more time, and just put a little bit over to where you need, a little bit above what you need. Okay, now we're going to go over to here, and we're going to extrude. We're going to place that there. What we're going to do is we're going to grab this piece, and we're going to place it right there. Okay, one moment. Let's undo this 1 second. Okay, let's move that there. Let's grab that there. Extrude region, grab right there. And we're going to place this right here. Actually, we did need that selected. Just like this. And we're going to extrude again. Grab X. It goes along sideways. And we're actually going to stop right here where there's this little bump. We're going to grab. And we're going to go up one more time. We're actually going to move this one back a bit. And then we're going to extrude again, grab X, and move it right there. We're gonna actually move this back just a smidgen. Right there. And we're gonna subdivide. Actually, not subdivide. Yeah, subdivide. And we're gonna move it down to where it starts this angle piece. And then we're going to extrude. Grab it. Follow the angle. Grab. Place it so it's almost very straight. Extrude. Yeah, oh, one moment. Grab. Follow the angle again. Extrude region. Hit it so it just says grab, and then we're going to follow it. Okay. Now we're going to come back up here. Extrude it, grab it, this piece right over here, and then follow that vertex. Extrude again, grab, follow that vertex, and since we have a little gap right here, or not gap, but piece of metal right there, we're gonna grab and just go that much. Okay, now we're gonna actually start, one moment. We're going to place it where it needs to be. Extrude and grab, rotate. Okay. And then grab this piece and that piece and put them right up against the barrel. And we're going to move this piece, this vertex, up a bit. Okay, now we're going to continue on with the gun. Extrude region, grab. And now we're actually going to level this out. Oops. We're going to follow the angle here. Extrude it once again. We're going to go down. And then we're just going to continue on from here. Extrude it region. Okay, I'm going to pop up another screen, guys, so you can see. Let's go to textured mode. So, okay, if you look in this image, you can see a little bump. So that's what we need to do in here. So I'm going to select these guys right here. Extrude region, and I'm going to go to top view. And then slide it down just a smidge, go back to front view, and then extrude. This one's gonna go up a bit. This one's gonna stay level. As you can see, it goes up just a bit right there. And I'm going to extrude it once again. Okay, now we have to deal with the cylinder. So I'm going to take a mesh and then cylinder. I'm going to leave it at 12. I'm going to rotate it, size it down quite a bit over here, drag it over here. Size it up just a bit. I need to go down just a bit. Okay, now I'm going to select these guys. But as you can see, right over here, it has a little bump out right here. So we're going to drag it down. But then I'm going to extrude it, and I'm going to size it up. I'm going to size it back down. Just leave it right there. And as you can also see, the gun barrel has a little indent area. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go solid mode. Select it. Okay, there we go. As you can see, guys, it is very well, this is because due to the size of the block that we were using, but we can size that down since it is solid. But let's just deal with one more piece. Add mesh cube. I'm gonna grab it up. I'm gonna go back to wireframe mode. Tab, and let's select the vertice. And this is the aiming section, middle aiming wire, or whatever it's called. Okay, there you go. And all that's left is the ammo drum. We're actually going to deal with the gun piece right now. And select the these two sections, not the barrel bit, the rounded barrel, but the square pieces. And then you want to hit S and then Y if you're in. You just hit S Y and size it down. Let's go to solid mode so we can see everything. S Y. It looks good, but if you look at the barrel, it does look a bit like it's thinner than the rest. So we're going to drag over there, or go over there. We're going to go into wireframe. We're going to go to front view, and then we're going to select basically this section. We're going to drag this over here for a little more detail. Let's size that up. I know it's rounded in the picture, and we're going to do that too, but I just wanted to clear up some stuff. We're going to go, oops, we're going to go to front view. We're going to select the finger grip area. We're actually going to make it smaller. So that'll do. Okay, now we're going to select everything. Shift D, M2, M2, enter. That'll move it to another layer. As you can see, it's right there. So we're now going to actually, what we can do for a little bit more detail. Hopefully, we're not pushing the polygon limit. We're probably not, but just want to make sure he's okay. Size it down a wee bit more. Extrude, enter. So we do have a barrel hole. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna join this piece and that piece. Okay, and then what we're gonna do now is tab, select all, W, bevel. It was super way too much, but I want to show you the effect of rounding everything. But what we're going to do is do it a little bit less. Bevel. As you can see, it's now smooth. So it looks more like the gun. We can then size down the barrel a bit. Join it to the gun. Actually, well, we need to sticking not so close to the gun, or sheet in the gun. We need to have it sticking in there. And finally join it to it. And to get reoriented so we're always looking at it, right there. So it does look pretty good. All that's left to do is the actual gun. They call it drum, ammo drum. But what we can do let's go to side, wireframe, and let's select this top view. So then go to front. Let's go down just a smidge. Size it. Extrude region. And size it. Actually, one moment. I just noticed that, this piece isn't directly the width of the gun, the aiming piece, so I just wanted to fix that part. So it still looks pretty good. We're gonna set smooth. That does look pretty good. Let's just check with a front. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is click W, remove doubles, 86 doubles. But I'm not gonna remove. Blender has a great removing, excess objects, but I'm gonna actually do this in another program, so we can get, keep an awesome amount of detail, but get rid of a whole bunch of these excess little glowing vertices. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unwrap the project from view, grab it, put it up here. And then I'm going to actually just size it sideways. One moment. I did. You click H and it will hide everything. You don't want that to happen, believe me. Okay, go to textured mode. Okay, and this is not like super weighted texture. I mean, you can texture this way, but it's not a proven method. Okay, we did actually do a pretty good job. This is just to make sure, you know, it does line up. How does it look pretty quickly with a texture on it? Now, we can do... That looks pretty low resolution. That's what we use normal maps and specular maps for. But let's export this as an OBJ, and then I'm going to show you the other program I use to convert high poly into low poly. Because right now we're at 1,655 vertices. That's a whole lot. So we're going to call this, the other one was called Gun 1, we're going to call this Gun 2. It's going to be on desktop. Export to OBJ, export. And then I'm going to pop up the other one, and it's called... Okay, the program that I use is called Balancer Lite. You can get the free version as long as it's, and use it as long as your high poly mesh is, I think, was it under 15,000 triangles or vertices or something like that. I have to go back to the website. We're going to open it, and then we're going to import OBJ. As you can see, it has a texture on it because we exported the OBJ with a texture. So this is actually pretty good, cool. I kind of suggest you actually semi-texture your object, even if it's kind of poorly textured, so that so that you can see what it looks like while you're low, converting it from a pretty high poly or even a a higher poly model, even if it's on a low poly, down to a super low poly. So what we're going to do in this program is called build. This will basically will read all the vertices, all the triangles, everything, and say, okay, this is how far low you can go. So we're going to set build. Okay, we're going to set build, and okay, it just built it into a low poly mode. This is basically Quake 1, Quake 2 quality. So right now, and let's select materials. Okay, so right now I have it in like Quake mode. Any of you guys played, some sort of low poly Quake 1 or 2 game? This is it right here. It's really, really low. So we're going to actually say we want more. So as soon as I begin raising it, and this right here, this is the one where it starts adding it by the hundreds or so. You want to add it by the lower one, so you get, by, individual vertices. So we got 580 faces. How low can we go? I want it pretty good. Okay, let's increase it. As you can see, we're still having some problems with the gun area, so we're going to actually set this up a little bit higher. Okay, there we go, we just hit some good marks. There we go, that's pretty good. And then what you do is you just click that and you say build, and it will build it. So there we go, we just built it. I don't see any huge problems. Actually, I don't really see problems. Looks pretty good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say file, save it, saves as an OBJ, and all you do is you just click save. because this puts the word reduced right next to it. We're going to minimize it. We're actually going to say new Blender. And then I want to show you the comparison between the two. Okay, now we're going to say import object, and this one's called Gun 2. So let's go look for that. Gun 2 reduced. Import. Okay, file. We want okay, view. View selected, and we actually want to say center new. Yeah, there we go. We can have the texture in there. Okay, let's just... Okay, on this one, the vertice count is 492. That means the... Okay, all these little dots that you see right here. Like, let me zoom into, like, one right here. Okay, all these little dots, you can see one right there. That's a vertice. And so that's 492 vertices. The gun looks pretty good. I mean, you know, for your iOS game or something like that, you put normal maps on it, it will look pretty good. And then if we go over to the other one, you have 1,655 vertices. That's a lot of vertices. So there's programs out there, Blender's one, and then you can use Balancer Lite that will help you. I mean, you probably... Okay, here's the thing. Since Balancer Lite, the light version, only goes up to 15,000, I think, vertices or triangles, something like that. Try to put as much detail as you can into the actual model itself. And then when you low poly it, try to keep... This tries to keep the topology, and that means, you know, the actual shape of the model while cutting excess model parts of the model that you do not see. So that's good. So you probably want to, you know, use as many polygons as you can without overdoing it. Import it into here as an OBJ, hopefully with a texture if you can put it onto it, or with some sort of color on it so you can see what it does. And then start playing around with the little bars over here, getting it as low as you can without killing the actual shape. And then you can import it back into Blender just to see what it does. And then, you know, because you get something like that, that's 492 vertices versus something like this, where you see all this and it's like a huge amount. Which, I mean, Game Engine can handle both. But like I said, why use more when you can use less and still get the same result and still, you know, have better Game Engine efficiency. So I hope you guys like this tutorial. We did hit a little bit into the actual texturing. We're going to go more into that into episode 3. We did hit into quite a bit into converting high poly into low poly, so that covered a bit of it. So we're going to, you know, go more into texture skinning, how to create, you know, skins for your guns. Because right over here you see a little glow image. Now what we're going to do with this is create a normal map, a specular map, a bump map, height map, and then a glow map, which is very fun to create. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please put it down below and I will answer them. And please stick around because we're going to have some fun creating 2 other guns. And then go over the same process of modeling them, converting them into low polys. And then once that's done, we're actually going to put them into a 3D game engine, Unity engine, and then mess around with them in there to see what they look like once they're finished and they're in game readiness. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you in the next tutorial. Bye guys.